This is Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig, live from the Matt Blatt Kia Studios. Now, Sports Bash Saturday. Here's Josh Hennig.
Happy day after Christmas here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig here with you for a half hour live on your radio. This is not a best of. We are live here on 97.3 ESPN, leading you up for a half hour to NFL. Really a busy day here on 97.3 ESPN overall. We have the Bucks versus the Lions coming up. Coverage begins at 12:30. Then later tonight, the Sixers take on the Knicks at 7:30. And following that game, we will bring you the Dolphins and Raiders game in progress, all here on 97.3 ESPN. A busy holiday weekend. Have a great Thanksgiving yesterday. Wonderful day for you to go out, spend time with your family. A lot of sports. 5 NBA games. The NFL game was bonkers as well. But we can't do anything without talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. It is Dallas week. They are playing the Cowboys tomorrow. And there's a bunch of big news that have happened with the Philadelphia Eagles in the last 36 hours. First of all, the latest news that came out today. There are multiple reports, according to Tim McManus of ESPN and Adam Capel of the Inside the Birds podcast, which you hear football for. The guys, Mosher, Kaplan, and Checo, join us on the Sports Bash each and every week. Desean Jackson is expected to come off injured reserve and return for the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Now, this is significant for two reasons. One, in order for Desean Jackson to be activated to the roster, someone has to be moved off the roster, whether it's the injured reserve or cut or something like that. So keep an eye out on when the Eagles do activate officially Desean Jackson, who they actually, move off of the roster, or how do they shuffle the roster to make this work. Number two, Desean Jackson coming back is not just a testament to him, but it's a testament to what this team believes about themselves. And what they believe about themselves is that they think they're still in it. Mathematically, they need some things to happen. All right, they got to beat the Cowboys, and Washington has to lose tomorrow. Washington is playing the Carolina Panthers. If both of those things happen, then the Eagles go into the Washington game, NFC East on the line, throwdown, showdown, Week 17. Now, even if the Eagles win tomorrow and Washington wins tomorrow, then you're pretty much out of it. But you can still ruin things for Washington if the Giants win. Because remember, the Giants and Washington have been neck and neck for the last month with the division. So there's a lot of things to go into this. And obviously for the Eagles to allow Desean Jackson to come back, they have a serious belief in their ability to make a run into the postseason. Also, keep in mind, Desean Jackson was working out with Jalen Hurts this summer. Not Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. They were together in Tampa this offseason. It was Jalen, it was Desean Jackson, a couple other guys working out in Florida. So we know that when it comes to timing and chemistry, there's a little bit already there from before they ever got in the training camp. So Hurts to Jackson may happen tomorrow. And of course, you can hear all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. So again, the latest news is there are multiple reports that Desean Jackson has looked really good at practice this week, and he's going to come off injured reserve, according to multiple reports. Now, the other thing that came out in the last 36 hours was the Eagles injury report, which came out Christmas Day after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when either most people were either taking a nap, or people were too busy with their family, or people were just totally immersed in the basketball and the football at that time. Because if you're a fantasy football championship weekend and you had Alvin Kamara, you probably just won your weekend already. Or if you're somebody who loves the NBA, maybe you were just binging the NBA all day long, but you might have missed out on the Eagles injury report. And I think a lot of people did, because there's some interesting names on this list. Hit the guys who are going to be inactive for the Eagles-Cowboys game tomorrow, and I'll give you my keys to the game as well as my picks before we get out of here. Again, we're only on until 12:30 today here on Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you. Our Eagles conversation being brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you. Visit them online at gmslaw.com. 609-403-0973 the PlaySugarHouse.com text board if you want to jump on the show. So the Eagles injury report that came out in the middle of Christmas yesterday involves 4 players who have been ruled out for Sunday's game. That includes Duke Riley, Richard Rodgers, Kayvon Seymour, and Josh Sweat. Now, Darius Slay has returned, so it makes the loss of Seymour a little bit less significant. But I'm still interested to find out who exactly comes in. How would they shuffle the secondary if Darius Slay or somebody else goes down on Sunday? The other thing to look out for is Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is having a monster season. All right, he's out with a wrist injury, and that's why he won't play. The hope is the Eagles believe that he would be able to return for Week 17. Josh Sweat is having a breakout season, and he's been a huge part of why this defense is top 5 in the NFL in sacks, quarterback hurries, and quarterback hits. This defense is among the best in the league at getting to the opposing quarterbacks. And Josh Sweat has been a huge, huge part of that. Josh Sweat this year, he doesn't just have 6 sacks. He doesn't just have 9 tackles for loss. He doesn't just have 11 quarterback hits. But he also has 3 forced fumbles and 2 passes defended. And a lot of those numbers I just gave you happened in the last several games. You look at his games since the bye week. Since the Eagles returned from their bye week against the Giants, that's when Sweat really picked up the pace this year. Just since the bye week, he has 6 of those 11 quarterback hits. Since that bye week, he has 3 of his 6 sacks in those 5 games. So he's been a monster this year, and for him to be missing any time at all, that's a huge blow for the Eagles defense. And you're going to need guys like the new Pro Bowler, Brandon Graham, who just got that, Vinny Curry, Derek Barnett. These guys need to step up because Sweat was a huge part of that rotation at defensive end. And going against a team like the Cowboys, they can sling it. They've shown the last few weeks that they can put up points. Ever since Andy Dalton came back, they have been putting points up on people. So the combination of not having a lot of depth at cornerback and then losing one of your best pass rushers on the edge are huge issues, at least in my mind. The questionables to watch for as well for the Cowboys game. 3 guys who are questionable as of Christmas Day were Fletcher Cox. He has not been practicing with a neck issue. Derek Barnett, limited practice with a calf. And then Cameron Johnston, he's still in concussion protocol. They're hoping that he can be cleared by Sunday. Now, Johnston, as you know, is one of the best punters in the NFL. Johnston has been top 10 in the NFL in punt yards per kick in the last 3 years. So if you're without him, you're losing a huge part of the strategy of the game because he's a guy that can pin you back in your end of the field. He's someone that can help you win where you are controlling the game. Because if you have a good punter, what you do is if you push a team back to in their 20, as you know, that's a lot further to have to go for the football than maybe the 40. And without Johnston, you're asking Jake Elliott, who's a kicker, not a punter, to try to fill that void. And I don't know if he's able to do it. Elliott's got enough problems to figure out why he's having problems with his kicking, let alone having to punt the ball. Although maybe punting the ball actually would distract him from reality of him being such a sorry kicker this year. But I digress. Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, huge things to watch as well. Because without Sweat, Barnett and Cox are going to be dependent on even more if they hope to beat the Cowboys tomorrow. So that's the Eagles injury report. You can hear all the action for Eagles football right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick on the call here on your home in South Jersey for Eagles football, 97.3 ESPN. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Hope you all had a great Christmas holiday. I am only here till 12:30 today. So a very quick show. We're in, we're out. I'll give you my keys to the Eagles game versus the Cowboys, as well as some picks coming up next here on Sports Bash Saturday on 97.3 ESPN FM. and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
This is Sports Bash Saturday with Josh Hennig, live from the Matt Blatt Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig here. Yes, I am live here just for a half hour, leading you up to NFL action. Buccaneers versus the Lions, bottom of the hour right here on 97.3 ESPN. Sixers at 7:30 tonight. And then we have Raiders and Dolphins in progress right here on your home for the Sixers, the Eagles, the Flyers, and the NFL, 97.3 ESPN. I want to remind you guys of my friends over at weightliftinghq.com. We are just days away from the start of 2021, which means you have everything you need to get into the best shape of your life or just get better at where you are in life with weightliftinghq.com. They're a local business located right here in South Jersey. They operate fully online. And whatever your needs are, whether you're a weightlifter, a health and fitness enthusiast, or someone who just wants to get back in shape, whatever your goals are, they have everything you need with the highest end weightlifting and fitness equipment available to be delivered right to your home, like bench and squat racks, kettlebells, dumbbells, cardio and fitness machines, and resistance bands, along with many other great accessories. You can't beat the local customer service and their incredibly competitive prices at weightliftinghq.com. Use code radio10 at checkout at weightliftinghq.com. That's radio10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order at weightliftinghq.com. So as we mentioned, the Eagles, they are going to be without Josh Sweat tomorrow. There's a possibility that Desean Jackson is going to be back on the field tomorrow for the Philadelphia Eagles. So my keys for the Eagles-Cowboys game come down to two things. Number one, if Desean Jackson is back in any capacity, don't force the ball to D-Jax. Let the game come to Jalen Hurts. Now, I have more confidence that Jalen will let the game come to him than Carson Wentz has this year, but you still don't want to have too many plays that are just for Desean Jackson because you want to let the game play out and see what the Cowboys do. The Cowboys have an atrocious pass defense. Cowboys are one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. So they're going to give you opportunities to beat you, right? They're going to give you opportunities to take advantage of them this year. They've shown it time and time again in every game this season. I haven't seen a Cowboys game where their secondary hasn't been taken advantage of. You know, people talk about how Phil Gunther over in Vegas with the Raiders got fired and Greg Williams, the Jets. I have no idea why Mike Nolan has a job right now with the Cowboys because they are 31st in the NFL in passing touchdowns allowed, and they are third worst in the NFL in creating turnovers. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. Their secondary can't do zilch. They have one of the worst secondaries I've ever seen in my life. The only thing they're good at is not allowing too many rushing touchdowns. I mean, you know, they're 25th in that category, too. They've given up the most rushing yards of the NFL this year. So let the game come to you. Don't worry about Desean Jackson being on the field. Take advantage of what the Cowboys are giving you. So if the Cowboys think they got to stop Miles Sanders, go with the play action, hit Rager, hit Ward. Obviously, Hurts and Ward have a great combination after 2 touchdowns last week. Let the defense tell you what to do. Don't be so dead set on getting the D-Jax or any player in particular. Number 2, the Eagles, they got to get after the quarterback. I know Josh Sweat isn't there, but the guys who are going to play, they better step up. Because this Cowboys team now, since their bye week, they have now scored. They're scored a lot of points, folks. They've scored 30 or more points 3 of the last 5 games. 3 of the last 5 games. They've scored 30 or more points. And last week they scored 40 against the 49ers. So the pass rush has to get home. Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham, hopefully Fletcher Cox can play. Hopefully Derek Barnett can play. Maybe we see some Gerard Avery in this game. A little bit of a special package or two for him. You know, maybe Jim Schwartz has to get a little extra creative with the coverages in the secondary. You got a savvy veteran back there and Andy Dalton. Don't give him opportunities to get the quick hitters because we know that Andy Dalton, he loves to hit guys like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Tony Pollard for the quick hits. And then on the big plays, he likes to go deep to either Cooper sometimes or Gallup, you know, depending on the situation and the alignment. So you got to get after the quarterback. You got to fill the void of Josh Sweat. So if the Eagles can take advantage of the Cowboys defense and limit Andy Dalton's ability to get the ball off quickly and efficiently, they have a chance to win this game. And I personally think the Eagles will win this game because of Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has been that good this year. I think Hurts has shown you that he's a winner and he is a competitor and he is going to take the game as it comes to him. He didn't let a bad first quarter phase him. He didn't get frustrated. He just went out there and got the job done. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the Eagles season. I really do. This is going to be a ridiculous game that's going to have everybody biting their fingernails because the Cowboys can score points and the Eagles are going to have to keep up. And the Cowboys defense will let them keep up because the Cowboys defense, outside of 3 players, is just a bunch of garbage. So to me, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they win this game in a close one, 34-28. That's what I think is going to happen tomorrow with the Eagles. You get all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Eagles kick off at 4 something, but the coverage begins at 3 o'clock right here on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, a busy day tomorrow. The locker room with Billy Schweim is back live 10 a.m. to noon. Billy Schweim, Hunter Brody, and more here on 97.3 ESPN. Eagles at 3 o'clock. And then, of course, the nightcap is the Packers versus the Titans Sunday football. All your football action right here on 97.3 ESPN. Usually this time of day, I also give you guys some picks, some things to look out for the weekend. So I'll do that really quickly for you before we get out here. We got a couple minutes left of the show. I've been giving you picks in a few days because, we haven't been on the air. So today in the NFL, I really like this Bucs spread. It opened at 9.5. It's up to 10.5. Some books at 11, actually. If you can find a way to get some good value on this, I would take it because I think the Bucs are going to beat up on the Lions. I think the Lions defense has shown themselves to be vulnerable this year. Remember, the Lions are without part of their coaching staff on offense. I think that the Lions are going to try, but they're going to come up short in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs, beat them by 2 touchdowns. So if there's a way you can jump on that spread, do so at a value as soon as you can, because this game might get bet up to 2 touchdowns. So you want to jump on that now. The other spread that I like today when it comes to sports and in terms of the picks is you go to college football. This Liberty-Coastal Carolina game screams scoring because Liberty's a team that averages almost 40 points per game this year. Coastal Carolina has already had multiple games where they've allowed lesser teams to score against them. Just look at the Troy game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I would take 2 bets in this game. I would go the over 59.5, and I would go the +7 on Liberty. 2 for the price of 1 there on one game because I think this game's got a lot of points scored. Liberty hasn't played in a few weeks, and they want to go out and prove that they are a high-powered offense. Hugh Freeze, he might be coaching for a future job in the SEC. Maybe not this offseason, but next offseason. Meanwhile, Coastal Carolina, they want to go out there and prove that they're legit. They want to prove that they are legit. So they want to stay undefeated. I expect this to be a high-scoring game. So there's a couple picks for you here on a Saturday. Of course, again, coming up next, the Buccaneers versus Lions right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins next. And, of course, Sixers basketball at 7:30. I would even take the Sixers spread. I think that was 8.5 the last time I checked. That might be a good pick-up for some of you guys out there to jump on as well. Maybe you throw a little parlay in there with a little Liberty +7, Sixers 8.5, and the Bucks. What is the Bucks up to now as I'm speaking to you? So hit that little refresh button on the odds. You can still get it at 10.5 at some books. Other books is up to 12. You better jump on that line. It's running out of time. I'm Josh Hennig. I'll be back on Monday with Hunter Brody, filling in for Mike Yell on the Sports Bash from 2 to 6 on 97.3 ESPN. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll catch you Monday.